Hi guys, my name is Jay Gannon and welcome to my YouTube channel where I help you to maximize your LinkedIn content. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to identify and outline your LinkedIn content themes. So that just means what are the topics you're going to talk about on LinkedIn and what are the sort of topics you can become known for and that come to mind when somebody thinks about what it is that you create content about. This is a critical first step in planning your content, what most people don't actually ever get around to doing. But the upfront time spent knowing what it is you're talking about will really help you to have peace of mind and will allow you to have lots more ideas for creating content on LinkedIn. In particular, outlining your content themes for LinkedIn makes having ideas for content so much easier, because once you have the themes outlined, you can start to brainstorm different ideas around them and find lots of new resources to get new inspiration. So this video is a part of my LinkedIn crash course, which is a playlist of 10 videos helping you to maximize your content. So this video is about outlining your content themes and how to identify them, and the next video in the crash course is how to come up with your ideas, and soon after that I'll help you to have a system for putting all of your ideas into one place and how I actually go about creating content on LinkedIn. So it's a really easy mistake to make that you want to create content about everything. You want to talk about anything and everything. But if you can't answer the question, what do you create content about? How can you expect your audience to know themselves? As we know, word of mouth is so important. So whether you're marketing for your business or starting to create content, how can anyone recommend you or even talk about you with someone else if you haven't told them what it is you create content about? So once you clarify this for yourself, it's also going to be a lot more clearer for your audience as well. The importance of outlining LinkedIn content themes. So why should you outline your LinkedIn content themes in the first place, and why is it important? A content theme is simply an overarching topic that you like to talk about and that your ideas and your content fall under. Another term for a content theme is also a content pillar. So what are the main topics that you talk about which can come to mind when somebody thinks about what it is that you do and what it is that you like to talk about? It's a common mistake to be really general and to not really specify what it is you like to talk about and to hone in on the niche topic. One of my favorite terms is niche down to blow up, which simply means talk about a few things first, become known for those things, and gradually over time you can expand what it is you talk about. When you do this, it's a lot easier to build up an engaged audience because people can know what to expect from your content, and that means they look out for it in the future. It's also advantageous because if you're creating content about something quite specific, there's going to be less competition, there's going to be less people honing in on those topics, and that's really good because your content can start to be the standard for those topics of content. If you've identified who your target audience is, then you should be creating content tailored around them. So when you go onto LinkedIn to post content, you're not posting it for yourself, you're posting it for your audience. All of your content should be value-based, and you can typically put these under three general themes. That's education, entertainment, and inspiration. These three things cover all marketing. So if you consider any video you type in on YouTube, does it inspire you, does it educate you, or is it simply entertainment? When you provide value in your content, you will see increases in engagement because people value the time that you took to teach them something. So outlining your LinkedIn content themes helps in two ways. It makes it a lot clearer for you about what it is you post content about, which makes planning so much easier. And then secondly, it provides clarity for your audience. They know what to expect when you post content. And if they enjoy what you post about, they'll be on your profile, they'll be clicking on the other resources you have, and they'll be going through all of your content that you have posted. They'll also keep an eye out for you in your feed. And that means the algorithm will start to serve up your content to them more. So every time they log in, they might see your content or who you're engaging with. Once you know what your themes are, you're consciously and intentionally posting content under these themes. So you know your topics. So then you can go onto Google, you can go onto different resources, different articles, different blog websites. You can come up with lots of ideas for content. Alternatively, if you're not sure what it is you create content about, how are you going to know what to search? How are you going to know who to talk to? How are you going to know when to spot ideas for content? Like in my video on how to have over 100 ideas for LinkedIn, once you've established your themes, you can come up with ideas for content when you're reading a book, listening to your favorite podcast, or having a conversation with a friend or a colleague. Then all you need to do is attach the idea to your theme, and then you can start to include that in your content strategy. So you might always talk about a certain theme, or you might talk about two themes alternatively. This makes creating content so much easier because ideas start to become on autopilot. Then all you need to do is turn your ideas into content. Naturally as well, as you increase your volume of postings, you can talk about more topics and go deeper into certain topics. Consider this, if you only post once a week or once a month, you don't really have much wiggle room to post about lots of different things. But if you can build up your posting to 3 times a week or to 5 times a week or daily posting on LinkedIn, you can obviously talk about different topics and provide more value to your audience because you're going below surface level information. Another benefit is that you can start to build your personal brand. So your personal brand is essentially your reputation. It's what you are known for. Now we all actually have a personal brand already. Essentially, it's what people think about you when they think of your name. So somebody might think Jay Gannon, and hopefully they think about someone who creates resources about how to maximize LinkedIn content. Define that narrative and tell your audience instead. By outlining your content themes and communicating to your audience, you can define the narrative that people have when you come to mind. And don't worry, your content themes can change over time, and they will. They will develop, they will expand, and if you've built up an engaged audience, it's a lot easier then to start talking about new topics because you've already built up authority and trust. Just like common advice for startups, build a minimum viable product. So outline what it is you want to try it, and then after time, iterate it and test it. Outline your themes, see how that goes, and then build it over time. So now I'm going to talk about my own LinkedIn content themes to kind of give you guys some inspiration and to share my thoughts and thinking behind them, and also how they've changed over time. So when I first started creating content on LinkedIn, I just graduated and my degree at university was psychology. I've always been interested in social media strategy. So instead of only creating content about social media marketing, it'd be really hard for me to stand out because there's so many people talking about that topic. So I outlined my content themes. I had two of them. My first one was psychology, because I was naturally interested in psychology. It was my favorite subject, and that's why I went on to study it. I love psychology books, just like most people. I love listening to podcasts about people and learning about behavior, and I think psychology is really, really interesting. My second theme was social media strategy. So instead of just talking about social media strategy, which is really competitive, so many people are doing that already, and instead of just talking about psychology, where so many people are more qualified than I am, I didn't want to go down that rabbit hole either. I wanted to just share the topics around psychology that I enjoyed. I wanted to share my own thoughts and opinions, and when I listened to something interesting, I wanted to pass it on to people who might also find that interesting too, which is what we can all do. We can all document our own journeys and what we're coming across. So I had my two themes. I had psychology and I had social media strategy, and then I decided when these two topics intersected, that would be my niche. So whenever psychology and social media came together, that's what I would create content about. So I would create content about psychology, I would create content about social media. I wanted to be known for somewhere in the middle. Think about the sort of topics that you enjoy in your spare time and see how you can kind of narrow them down or combine certain topics together to have as LinkedIn content themes. When you post more content, you allow yourself to have more themes. And over time, like I said, it will naturally change. So now I'm kind of interested in psychology and what that means for personal development. So a really good example is I've always been someone who's been so slow to act on things. And over time, I've started to understand that it's accountability. It's telling someone I want to do something and then having them check in with me. That is like changed the game for me. Why is it that we hold ourselves back? Why is it that we feel a fear of putting ourselves out there? And that kind of, again, combines psychology because it's like irrational beliefs. And that can also entwine with personal development because we're holding ourselves back from the irrational beliefs because we're not doing the things we want to do and we're not allowing ourselves to grow. One of my favorite examples of someone's content themes changing over time is one of my good friends, Abdaal. So Ali's a YouTuber, he's incredible. I don't know how he does everything that he gets to do in a week. So Ali started to create videos on YouTube about how to pass medicine exams. So that's very, very niche. So those videos are only really helpful or useful to anyone who wants to pass their medicine exams. But over time, Ali started to become known for his revision advice and how he would study for exams. So people who were studying medicine exams would also kind of spread the word, and his techniques could be also useful for people studying engineering or maths. So Ali went from just helping the niche of medicine students to more broadly help people to revise for exams. And then again, so Ali did a video about how to use an iPad for exams. So how in lectures he makes notes on his iPad. Then this was huge for his channel because then this was still relevant, but then it opened up to a larger audience of people who like to use tech to revise. So Ali then started to become known for tech and using different apps and tools to be more productive. He then moved into the productivity space, and nowadays he's a productivity and tech YouTuber, which has a larger appeal. More people can benefit from those videos, and it's one of my favorite examples because it just shows get started, serve an audience, really help them, provide them value, and then they will share your videos to other people, and your following, your channel can really, really grow. So I hope these examples give you confidence that your themes will change over time. And it's just most important that you start to create content about a niche topic to help an audience, to build up your engagement with an audience before you start to expand out into more content themes. So my first advice for what you could create content about is to think about what you consume and how you spend your free time. So instead of thinking of this as an uphill battle and a really daunting task to outline your themes and what it is you want to create content about, see this as an opportunity to actually incorporate throughout your week time spent doing something that you actually enjoy. You'll be amazed at the opportunities that you can pull in when you consistently post content, which is why I'm so passionate about creating content on LinkedIn. So content curation is when you come across resources and you share them to your audience. And then when you add your own thoughts and layer your own perspective onto that, that becomes original content that you've created. It was a big realization for me that most of my favorite creators online are actually curators. So by following this person who does amazing interviews, I get to come across all these new guests and all these new ideas. So by following that one person, I'm exposed to all these different ideas. It's more efficient for me and it's an enjoyable process. So again, if you're struggling to come up with your own content themes, consider your favorite creators. What are they talking about? What is it that they do? Can you reverse engineer what they create content about to identify your own themes? They might be further on in their journey, but it might give you inspiration. So firstly, I want you to write down your favorite topics. So this could be anything. What do you enjoy doing? What do you enjoy watching, listening? How do you spend your free time in the evenings and in the weekends? The key thing here is that with these activities, it requires you no motivation to do them. Secondly, I want you to write down your expertise. It doesn't matter if you're just starting out in your career or if you have more experience, but what do you have expertise in as we speak? So maybe you've just finished university. What was your course about? Maybe you finished college or your A-levels. What are the subjects that you did? Maybe you're 5 years into your career. So what are your expertise? Lastly, more generally, I want you to write down things that you could teach people. One of my favorite quotes is, if you've gone from A to B, you can teach people who are still at A. So this could be a productivity tip, for example. Maybe you've nailed your morning routine after years and years of deliberation. Maybe you did a leadership course and you could teach people your findings from that to save them taking the 2 hours to do that course. Whatever it could be, now you've outlined what you enjoy, you've outlined your expertise, and you've outlined the things that you could teach people. You now have the foundations for your LinkedIn content themes. So content pillars are planting the seeds of your trees. So for me, it was initially psychology and social media. They were my main content themes, so the main sort of trees. Then I kind of branched into personal development and productivity. And then the ideas for content under those themes are the leaves. So I had 80% which was my content themes, and then 20% was trialing things like productivity and personal development. And then I started to realize that that sort of content actually did well. Now the fun part. As you have your content themes outlined, it'd be so much easier for you to come up with ideas under those themes. See how many ideas you can come up with under your themes that you've just outlined. Once you spend this upfront time, you make content creation throughout the rest of your week so much easier. So there we have it. I really hope this video has been useful for you on how to identify your LinkedIn content themes. Make sure you do this exercise and do not be a perfectionist. You can come back to this video and do it over and over again. Thank you for watching. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.